Hello everyone, I'm here to discuss my findings that were in the Assessment Needs module. I created a survey, and the survey was given to teachers K through 12 in the general and special education setting, and I named this survey, and I'm going to name my project as well, Navigating Through Co-Teaching. I think that's something a lot of general education and special education teachers struggle with, is collaboration. And I am interested in seeing and digging deeper and doing to see what I can do to make this better or shed some light on it. And I think this would be a great professional development to do in schools because it's such a touchy subject for some teachers. So I'm going to navigate you through navigating through co-teaching. So I'm going to go over my responses. I sent this survey out and 24 teachers responded. So the first thing I wanted to touch on was my school offers professional development for collaborative teaching. I feel like if every year all the teachers sat down to collaborate, would sit down, and at the beginning of the year they start, brainstorming and come up with the plan and put everything out on the table, I feel like that would be very, very strong. Will create a strong collaboration for them and the students will benefit from it. So I think a professional development geared towards teachers who actually collaborate in the classroom would be very useful. And you see that 50% responded yes and 50% also responded no. So I'm interested in knowing what kind of what kind of professional development that these teachers are getting and who's teaching it. Another finding that I found very interesting: student data is frequently collected and discussed at department team meetings. I had 62.5% say yes and 37.5% say no. But in my findings with talking to some of the teachers at the school, the general education teachers really don't see student data, or they don't really take it. So I feel like, that could be another instance to make the general education teachers aware and feel more a part of the process if they were able to kind of take data as well, because I feel like taking data might be foreign to some general education teachers, but I know in special education that we're so used to paperwork and so used to taking data, and I mean, even if general education teachers took data in their classroom on all of their students, it could make a difference. Data should be more than just grades, in my opinion. The next response I have: general education teachers play a big role in creating IEPs. 54% said yes, 45.8% said no. This is huge for me. I know in my case, I've seen many schools like, oh my gosh, we need a general education teacher to sit in on this IEP meeting. And I really like for my general education teachers to play a big role in the IEP and talking in the IEP meeting, so everything's not coming from me. So I think this here is something that special education teachers could do better to make the general education teachers feel included. And I know some people probably don't, are not receptive to participating and having a big role, but I feel like if we put more of an effort out there and let them know, like, hey, I want you to be a part of creating this IEP with me and sit down, and that way they can see what we do, I think they would be able to extend grace if they knew what we were going through, or they knew what we did, instead of just getting that IEP at the beginning of the year. They need to be a part of that whole process, and they'll know the importance of it. The next one there is time allotted for teacher collaboration. This, for me, I don't see that part for me. I know my planning is always taken up, so I can't imagine how other people's are as well, but I would love if we set aside a planning each month to just sit down and talk and collaborate and work together. I feel like it's very hard to collaborate if we're not doing it behind closed doors. I know for me, I would never want to just walk into a classroom and teach a lesson without reading it or doing some type of planning before. So, I mean, that's important for our students. We have to collaborate with each other before we try to collaborate in front of our students. So we have to collaborate behind closed doors before we get in front of our students and try to pretend like we're a team. So, there are resources allotted for teacher collaboration. 91% of people said no and 8% said yes. So, when I thought resources, that was big for me. So now, when we think about resources, what kind of resources could administration or even the people at the central office, what resources could they give us? Should there be somebody that's in charge of the teachers to collaborate, or we go to like an admin that we can go to talk about these things when we're having these issues? Resources could be a collaborating room. So I think this one was huge for me because I'm like, okay, what resources could we offer? So this in itself could be a whole can of worms that we could open in a good way to see like what can we do to offer resources for our teachers who do collaborate. So I want to go over one more that caught my eye. Teachers share their experiences, fears, concerns, and questions about the collaboration model. 54% said no, 45% said yes. I feel like this is a huge thing. Communication is a big thing. It's a big barrier for most people. Even in our classroom, trying to communicate to our students, I know that it may be very difficult. And I know even now in the times that we're in, I can't imagine how this is now. But I think it's very important that teachers learn how to connect and learn how to share their concerns and share their feelings and know like, hey, I'm here for you. I want to be a team. Like I wish that there was more of a team atmosphere in the school in general, because if we're not a team, we'll never collaborate. So that's like the first thing that we should establish as a school, as teachers. We need to create the culture within our school. Because if we don't have a good culture, we will not be collaborating. So that is a huge, 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 huge thing in my opinion. Okay, so if our culture isn't a culture, we won't be collaborating. I want to go over some of the responses that some teachers wrote in their written response. So a special education said, general education teachers do not understand the full nature and expectations of collaborating. General education teachers expect all students to do the same work instead of accommodating it to fit specific needs. It is easier to drop a low grade than accommodate the assignment. There is especially frustrating students on the essentials track, as they are not given completely separate assignments and do not, It's especially more for the essential students because they are given a completely separate assignment. One big thing that we can go over before the year even starts is what is a modification versus an accommodation. Some teachers don't understand that, and that's hard for them to grasp. So I think that's going to be a part of the resources that we offer. That's going to be a part of the professional development that we offer these teachers, so we can all know what is the difference between a modification of an assignment and accommodation. Some teachers, they don't draw that fine line, and they're not sure, which level they should be on, and some teachers don't like to accommodate their assignments either. And again, like I said, if those teachers are a part of the IEP writing process and they sit down and they're a part of the accommodation page that is filled out at the beginning of the year, they'll already know, they'll have a sense of belonging and understanding what's going on if they're included in that process. One more that I really liked. There is a large age gap between my co-teachers and I. This makes it hard to collaborate when I would like to be included in new ideas. The person said that many people are stuck in their old ways and they're not willing to take a risk for the better of the students. So, I think that's a huge thing. I know that we've had a lot of teachers that have been doing this job for a very long time, So I think, again, that goes with the professional development. We should always be trying to innovate and think of new ways to broaden our thinking and broaden our teaching styles to accommodate our students. So I think that each year, I don't know, that's part of that professional development, that we're not going to be subpar teachers, we're going to go above and beyond. So that's something that we could also get into that professional development with. And I think like when we offer professional development, it needs to be offered in a way that's like not, at the beginning of school when everybody wants to be in their classrooms, getting their classrooms together. Like we need to offer professional development during a time where it's going to be beneficial to everybody, not when everybody has tons of things going on, trying to get grades in or trying to get their classrooms together in the middle of the year. Like we need to offer professional development during a time that we can receive it, and take it all in. So that was me navigating through co-teaching, and I cannot wait to dive deeper into this and maybe creating a professional development that could bring light to this. So I want to thank y'all for joining me, and I look forward to hearing and seeing all the things that y'all have to say about what y'all found. Have a great day.